Hi everybody, it's Monday, November 3rd. It's the first show of November. There is a lot to get to. Here's what's coming up. We're one day away from high-stakes off-year elections across the nation. We're breaking down the races. The government shutdown is in full effect, how it could affect your holiday travel in one of the busiest seasons for air travel. Plus, clocks fall back, but a new study reveals it may not be necessary. And is Nigeria persecuting and killing Christians? What the US and Nigeria are saying. This is a special edition of Your Daily Brief. I'm Jackson Mitchell. Let's get right to it. It's time for another high-stakes election, though it is an off year. I feel like we say that every time there's an election. The mayor of New York, New Jersey governor, Virginia governor, and redistricting in California all on the ballot. Those aren't all of the elections happening tomorrow, just a few of the ones catching our eye. Let's start with the race to be mayor of New York. 3 candidates are on the ballot, including a self-proclaimed socialist, Zohran Mamdani, independent Andrew Cuomo, and Republican Curtis Sliwa. Polling days before the election shows the race tightening. The Atlas poll gathered data to October 30th from over 1,500 individuals. Mamdani secured 40%, Cuomo 34%, and Sliwa at 24%. Mamdani's lead is within 3 points of the margin of error. The polls earlier in the race showed him with a significant advantage. That gap has narrowed in recent weeks. Supporters of Cuomo have called on Sliwa to drop out, but the Republicans say he's staying in until the end. Cuomo has been endorsed by current Mayor Eric Adams, while Mamdani and Sliwa each have backing from their party's bases. Now to New Jersey, where the governor's race is one of the closest in the country. Democrat Mike Sherrill and Republican Chitterelli are neck and neck in the final polls. A statistical tie heading into Election Day, but the race has been married to controversy. Sherrill has faced questions over past stock trades, and a leaked copy of her military file, now the subject of an investigation. Chitterelli has threatened legal action over campaign ads and accusations he's called false. Former President Obama recently campaigned with Sherrill, while former President Trump released a video message supporting Chitterelli, setting up a true red versus blue showdown in the Garden State. In Virginia, another governor's race with national implications. Democrat Abigail Spanberger faces Republican Winsome Earl Sears in an open seat contest to succeed term-limited Governor Glenn Youngkin. Most polls show Spanberger holding a small but consistent lead around 50 to 43%, though the margin is still tight enough to keep both sides on the edge. The campaign has turned negative in its final days, Republicans trying to link Spanberger to a separate Democratic scandal. While Spanberger highlights her record as a centrist who works across the aisle, turnout in the suburbs around Richmond and Northern Virginia is going to be likely to decide this race. And finally, let's head west to California. Voters there aren't picking a person, but weighing in on Proposition 50. You may have heard it recognized as Prop 50, a measure that would temporarily let state lawmakers redraw congressional districts starting in 2026 and keep those maps in place through 2030. Polling shows a slim majority in favor, 51% to 34%. Supporters, mostly Democrats, argue the change is needed to counter Republican redistricting efforts in other states. Opponents call it a power grab that could weaken California's independent commission. It's also become one of the most expensive ballot measures in state history. So many elections, so much context. I'll have more on the races tomorrow and Wednesday. That's when we're likely to learn at least some of the results. Tuesday night, really the earliest that we're going to hear about some of those. President Donald Trump on Saturday ordered the Pentagon to begin planning for action on Nigeria as he claims they're persecuting and killing Christians. Here's Trump on Air Force One last night.
On Nigeria, just wanted to ask you, do you envisage US boots on the ground or airstrikes?
Could be. I mean, a lot of things I envisage, a lot of things. They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. And they have other countries very bad also. You know that part of the world very bad. They're killing the Christians. They're killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
Now, Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu responded by saying Trump's claim does not reflect the national reality. Quote, religious freedom and tolerance have been a core tenet of our collective identity and shall always remain so. Nigeria opposes religious persecution and does not encourage it. Nigeria is a country with constitutional guarantees to protect citizens of all faiths, unquote. That is what Tinubu said. We'll keep our eye on this. I know Nicki Minaj, the popular rapper, is backing what President Trump is saying here. The government shutdown could soon impact holiday travel. TSA agents and air traffic controllers are working without pay, and longer lines and delays are already showing up at major airports. The FAA has furloughed thousands, slowing training and maintenance projects. Experts warn if the shutdown lasts into Thanksgiving, travelers could see more cancellations, longer security lines, and higher cost. All of that as shortages at 35 air traffic control sites were reported on Friday. The FAA reported those shortages, all in major cities, caused significant delays. The problem's only expected to keep growing if the shutdown continues. Daylight saving time has concluded and clocks have fell back. A new study says it's not necessary though. A recent study by Stanford Medicine has highlighted the health advantages of adopting permanent standard time over the current biannual clock changes between standard time and daylight saving time. The research indicates that permanent standard time is more in tune with our biological clocks or circadian rhythms and could significantly reduce health risks. Specifically, it is estimated that a year-round shift to standard time could prevent approximately 300,000 strokes and result in 2.6 fewer cases of obesity annually in the United States. The study also says this disruption results in significant, though temporary, health and safety consequences due to the misalignment between our biological and social clocks. The study concludes that eliminating these biannual changes and adopting a permanent fixed time would be the most beneficial for public health and safety, with the consensus among many sleep and medical experts supporting permanent standard time as the optimal choice. I mean, just wow. Didn't know that time change could be so significant, but many out there say it's worth it. Some say, why do we even have it? That's your daily brief, a special edition for this Monday, November 2nd, 2025. I'm Jackson Mitchell. See y'all soon.